Hey guys, Marvin and Kid here, coming to you again. How's everybody doing? Welcome back, guys, for Characters Why I Like Them Series 3. I apologize for the delays on this season. I really do. But I'm back on track. Expect, like I usually, the schedule for Series 3 is always usually Fridays, so I apologize for that. Um, but as you all know, with Series 3, we're going golden age pulp era heroes and ladies and heroines that paved the way for the heroes that we have now. Like I always say, gotta respect the past heroes before present. That's my motto. Not- And we're here to talk about another character that has made a big comeback thanks to Dynamite Comics Entertainment, and we're talking about Mr. Doc Savage. Doc Savage, or aka Clark Savage Jr., the Man of Bronze. That is pretty much what they call him. Um, Now, basically, let's get a little bit. First, of course, Doc Savage first came out around the 1930s, I believe 1933. Did my research, 1933, uh, in Doc Savage magazine, number one, way back when most of us were not even born. Our grandparents were around, but we weren't. He was created by Henry. Um, Hold on, where's my notes? Okay, here we go. Henry W. Rolston and John L. Novavic. I hope I'm saying his name right. And of course, a lot of help came from Lester Dent, who contributed a lot of material because he was the main series writer. Now, uh, of course, he had a lot of heroical adventures as well. Um, Doc Savage, of course, as you all know, he was born Clark Savage Jr., and he was trained from birth by scientists to be the peak of mental and physical feats of a man. He excelled in all his fields, subjects of any matter, which range from medicine, even to things like to neurology, as well to even ventriloquism. So he's able to throw his voice and things like that. Hand-to-hand combat, you name it, he excelled at it. He is what he is. Um, he definitely when hold on, let me make sure of my notes. Okay, so he excelled at that sort of things. He was renowned. He's always been. He's always been. He always lived by this code: right wrongs and punish evildoers. That's always been the Doc Savage motto, which has been cool as well. And one thing that always kind of was the thing about Doc Savage was, he during when the war broke out, when war broke out, he was uh, he was thrown into a POW camp, if I remember my notes. I wrote, yeah, brought into a POW camp, and he was that's where he learned. He became really good in other things like geology, and that was also where he became a member of the Amazing Crew. Excuse me. And like I said, pretty much Doc Savage is a man of peace. He always tries to find different different solutions for solving his problems or stopping, you know, evildoers. But like I said, because of the fact that he's a man of bronze, um, he's pretty much, that's the nickname for him. He's pretty much just so full of he all the traits that you can think of, he's good with. He's everything. He's always, his physical feats, his mental feats. He is, yes, he has good leadership skills. Um, Everything you can think of in terms of, let's say, characters like Cap, Batman, people like that. He's just as good as them, but he has no powers, which is kind of cool. Now, like I said, once again, in terms of his feat, let me explain to you a little bit more of his feats, his skills, and attributes. In his time, Doc Savage has learned and mastered many styles of martial arts, making him very. He's good in hand-to-hand combat. He is one of the smartest men ever to live. So he's brains and bronze. He's demonstrated. He's demonstrated that because he has his own fortress of solitude he created one time. He's created many gadgets over the years. Like I said, he's skilled at imitating voices. Like I said, ventriloquism, he's really good at. But the one thing he does have trouble, and this is one thing that threw me for a loop after when I really got into the character in terms of ventriloquism. He has a really tough time voicing women characters, so that's kind of hard. The basis way of describing all his abilities, the main writer Lester Dent said, described him as, and I quote, Sherlock Holmes' detective skills, Tarzan's physical abilities, Craig Kennedy's scientific education, and Abraham Lincoln's goodness. That's a good combination right there. Very good. Like I said, there's a lot of influences with Doc Savage, from Superman to Batman. The billionaire kind of that comes from, his riches are kind of like Batman, Bruce Wayne, and things like that. Now, in terms of comics, now his license is under Dynamite, and I hear none. I've read a few, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. Dynamite is where you go for when you for these pulp era heroes. Dynamite knows what they're doing with these characters. They're keeping them in their era that they're born in, and that's great. Doc Savage was under Marvel at one point back in the 70s. He resided in the 616. It didn't last too long. He was under DC for a short while. Back in the 80s, I believe. And Millennium Comics had him, but now, like I said, Dynamite has him, and they just are doing a very good. They're doing very good with him. There was one movie based on Doc Savage, back in the 1970s, called Doc Savage: The Man of Bronze. It was loosely based off the first novel, but I'm not sure. I never saw it. I gotta check it out, see what. But I know but I did wrote down, once again, my notes. Wrote down that the film featured Ron Eli, who was most famous for playing Tarzan on the TV series of Doc Savage, and things like that. And but it wasn't well received from my research. The last thing that I've heard that about maybe remaking a new film for this new age is director Shane Black has signed on to direct a film. He wanted to do a film back in 2012, but there's no more. There was no more active development for it, and Shane moved on to do the Iron Man 3. But I would love to see a Doc Savage series done now, but done in a time period that he's famous in, the 1930s, things like that. I feel like these pulp era heroes, work better in their period piece than in like a modern take. There are some pulp era heroes that can take the modern approach, but I would rather keep them uh, in basically his time period where he was good at. Now, who can I see play Doc Savage? I have no idea. I really don't. But the thing is, that person would have to really get into good shape for the role and very look the part. Um, when you look at from all the pictures, especially with Dynamite, their covers of him, he looks a little bit like Chris Evans in a sense. But I can't really see Chris Evans uh, making a switch, doing both Cap and Doc Savage. It'd be cool, but somebody else could probably pull it off. I think there's someone else out there that could pull off Doc Savage. But he's a great character, guys. I do highly recommend people to you guys to research the character or look him up. Very interesting character indeed. No and buts about him. The Man of Bronze is a great character, and he's found a home at Dynamite, whereas the other publication that had him, all honesty, they just didn't know what to do with the character. Like I said, Marvel tried, but they modernized him too much. Didn't work. DC tried, where they had him on Earth 1, but it just didn't pan well. Dynamite, they know what they're doing, and it is what it is. So thank you for watching, guys. This is Characters Why I Like Them Series 3. I will be back with another episode or edition as soon as after this. I'm gonna give you a double header today. Where we're going next, you'll never know. I'll tell you when we get there. But other than that, you guys take care. And this is M.V.K. Peace.